1931 to 1936, right during the Great Depression, the Hoover Dam was created, forming Lake Mead and the largest reservoir in the entire United States, where it submerged multiple towns, brick and stone buildings, and old world structures. Today we're uncovering the hidden history of the Hoover Dam, the submerged town of St. Thomas, and the bizarre symbolism and technology that suggests that there's much more to the story than what we've been told. When the Hoover Dam was completed, it formed Lake Mead, again, the largest reservoir in the entire United States. This project submerged 248 square miles of land. This is equivalent to 158,720 acres gone, and all of it is under 532 feet of water, sinking things that would blow our minds today. Exactly like we've shown all over the world, including the town of St. Thomas in Nevada, where in the 1930s, residents were told to sell their land to the federal government. Most buildings were abandoned or dismantled. Why dismantle a building if you're going to sink it anyway? I think all of us can answer that. These buildings were not built with wood, and they were not built with dirt. They were palaces, and they were from the old world. They did not belong in Nevada at all. The entire town was submerged for decades until something happened recently. With record low water levels in this fake lake that they just made. Remember, it's not a natural lake. There was never supposed to be water there. So obviously the water levels are going to go down, and they knew this. And that's why they dismantled these buildings, because St. Thomas has now reemerged. Visitors today can now walk through the town's ruins. Old roads are now visible. This was one of many buildings, looking mud flooded, of course, and burying a lot of the buildings. And I believe that this is proving that a lot of our map was hit with a lot of water. And this is why we find doors under the ground, where you find windows that look straight out into the dirt, unless we dig them out just like we saw in episode 36. So why did St. Thomas, Nevada, in the middle of nowhere, why did they need all these buildings in the 1930s? How many people were even living there? It must have been a few thousand people to need post offices, gas stations, general stores, homes, and churches, including schoolhouses, where they had just 500 people at its peak. And I was told in schools that this was the wild, wild west, where they had shacks and dirt roads. So why the heck do we have buildings that are built with brick and stone? So many of them that they had to dismantle them before submerging them, because they knew that it would be coming back. And just 500 people occupying the town. This man-made lake is massive. And the Hoover Dam is built with massive underground infrastructure, including tunnels. Of course it has tunnels. It has shafts and chambers, as well as sealed off rooms. It's all blocked off to the public. Dams are a very strange thing. And it's very obvious at this point that they're not just for generating energy or to manage flooding. The Hoover Dam, we are told, had a dedicated ceremony where President Roosevelt gave a speech attended by thousands of people and broadcasted nationally in 1935, featuring two winged figures, two massive bronze statues that still sit at the site today, right at the base of the dam's dedication plaza. I mean, we can just look at this for a second. I think anybody with eyes can figure out the symbolism here. I think we all know which group made this one. You can look right at the floor and you will know. Between the winged figures, the compass rose, the celestial star chart, tying the architecture to the stars. This is exactly the kind of ritual that they do all the time. This is clear as day now. Zodiac and astronomical symbols. All of this with the date of September 30th, 1935 at exactly 8:56 p.m. Why that time? Why exactly 8:56 p.m.? Where at this exact time, Jupiter and Saturn were both prominent in the sky, where Saturn, according to this group, is one of the most symbolically loaded planets. And we have talked about this in episode 117, where Saturn is aligned with Jupiter, the supposed king planet. It is interpreted as a cosmic marker of massive shifts in human civilization. This is all in my opinion, and you're free to think whatever you'd like, as always. But we're just getting started, especially when you hear that 96 workers died during the construction, with others saying it was many more. And they just weren't counted, with no memorial or plaque listing their names. Again, a ritual, as we have seen in the Ball Cycle, episode 97 and 98, requires sacrifice, where there is a plaque stating that they died to make the desert bloom. Hoover Dam, and possibly other dams that we've seen, are much more than what we're told. We know technology is being given back to us strategically over time. We all know that there are things that they found in the 1800s that we have never, and we will never see. Thinking energy, frequency, geometry. We don't know what kind of energy is being produced from these dams. Or for what? Are they powering cities, towns, or something else? Are they powering old world technology that is actually inside this thing, where you have symbolism outside, and the symbolism makes no sense for a dam? And we all know that. But let's say that there is a technology inside that needs an insane amount of power that only trillions of gallons of water could produce, where 2.5 to 3.5 trillion gallons flow through the turbines each year at the Hoover Dam. What would this be? We know about CERN. We know they're doing things, attempting to find the God particle in their words, splitting atoms. What do you think they could be doing that we just don't know about? Old world technology that they have found. Dams aren't just powering towns. They're not saving anyone from floods. They're the thing that's actually flooding the place. They don't care that much about us. Trust me. The Hoover Dam, it was funded by the U.S. federal government through the Boulder Canyon Project Act of 1928, where the government still owns it today, where even workers at the dam have said, there are places that we're not allowed to go. Sealed off chambers and restricted zones underground. Deep tunnels that are not used for power or maintenance. Is there an old world technology at the site that requires a massive amount of power? If the answer is yes, what technology would this be? Why is this place so symbolic, with winged figures outside and all connected to the stars? And it was done at 8:56 p.m. What is going on inside? Again, we have winged figures outside. We see the same type of thing over at CERN, where they have Shiva the Destroyer right out front in the lawn for everybody to see. The Hoover Dam created Lake Mead, the largest reservoir in the United States, all connected to the stars, where they needed to do it at a specific time. Was this the time to open the portal? Needing a massive amount of power. Project Stargate. This is a secret U.S. Army program. I need everybody to focus right now. With the Hoover Dam creating Lake Mead, where Project Stargate was established at Fort Meade, where we all know that there are no coincidences. None at all. Project Stargate was operational way earlier than 1978, and we all know it. Its primary focus was on investigating the potential for psychic phenomena, remote viewing, at CERN, to show that this is not shocking at all, and it's a very real thing. At the world's most powerful particle accelerator, they are attempting to find other dimensions, tearing the fabric of our dimension and opening portals. This is in their own words. If extra dimensions exist, they could be revealed at the LHC at CERN. So what is going on in the desert inside the complex of the Hoover Dam? I believe that they are conducting experiments. I believe they have found old world technology inside of that massive complex. And I believe that it had to be all aligned with this place that we live. And I don't think that this is the only one in the world. Where we saw the US government do this in the 1930s, not only building the Hoover Dam, but also constructing the Fort Peck Dam, located in Montana. Doing this one in 1933, where they were possibly hitting multiple locations. We have all heard of the ley lines. Are these all locations on the map that are extremely powerful, places that they could potentially tear the fabric of where we live? Or are these the places that the old world already did? With Las Vegas, or in other words, Sin City, located right next to the Hoover Dam. Incredible buildings that we will never see again, and we have proved this. But the dam itself is a tool, a multi-purpose tool, without a doubt in my opinion. The dams are wiping out hundreds, if not thousands, of old world locations. We have proved this, we've shown this, did it that way to show that this is not a once-off. The dams are 100% weapons against the old world structures. We've proven that, and it's been shown to a lot of people. And we will continue to do that, but today I want to show that the dam itself is extremely powerful. It is there, and there are things going on inside the complex, within the walls. It has bizarre symbolism. They held a weird ceremony with the president even giving a speech, timing it all up to match with the stars at 8:56 p.m. This is not random. They know something. They have knowledge, and this is what they did. Before we go further, the possibilities of this place that we all live are endless. I'm not going to restrict the research to things that we can without a doubt prove. I'm going to continue to ask questions, and I'm going to continue to dig deeper, because this is when we find things. We all have to ask questions, like, what would the government need that much power for? Why are there buildings, places inside this dam that are restricted to even the workers? Why was there a weird ceremony at the dam? Why are there two winged figures sitting outside with Thuban written on the ground? Thuban, meaning snake or serpent. And we all know that serpent represents hidden knowledge. We have a compass on the ground and a location of possible sacrifice to turn the machine on. If they were just constructing a dam, none of this would be going on. They would just build the dam. They would never set the dam to a symbolic circle that denotes the 25,772-year cycle. Again, a dam doesn't need Thuban, the serpent star, written on the floor in front of it. They were aligning this machine perfectly, using the earth as its power source. There's something inside there, and I want to know what it is. An old world technology, something that would blow every single person in the world's mind in a second. This is an old world technology hiding in plain sight. And we know this because we know that a machine needs a source of energy. And you can see how powerful this technology is, just based on the amount of power intake this thing has. 2.5 to 3.5 trillion gallons of water a year. It is a machine. And who owns it? The dam pumps out 4 billion kilowatt hours a year. Sure, it lights up 1.3 million homes, but 4 billion kilowatt hours a year is enough energy to run an entire country. That's 456 megawatts of raw power. This is enough power to run over 6 CERN colliders. This is not just for Vegas. This is not to run the casino lights.